infants and kiddos, right, in the first year or two of life, they're going to be a lot more sensitive because of their immune system. So, I mean, of course, the big thing you have to look at is high quality breast milk, and really got to look at what the mom's consuming. The mom's consuming a lot of potential food allergens. I recommend an autoimmune diet out of the gates. Sometimes we even have to look at potentially pulling out salicylates. Salicylates can be anti-nutrients in vegetables. Here's a couple things out of the gates, right? Salicylates are natural chemicals found in many fruits and vegetables. They're really good things. And so out of the gate, I want to pull these foods out as a means of calming down and chilling out the immune system. This is really important. So you can see kind of the negligible, the low, the moderate, the high, and the very high. I just try to tell patients to like focus on the 80-20 because there's so many foods that are like really good for you that are high in salicylates. And a lot of times it's not about being perfect. It's about calming down, kind of the 80-20. So what are the 20% of things that you eat the most frequently that are the most high? And we'll try to sub that and put that in the negligible to low category. That can be really helpful as well. So you can see the different vegetables, you can see the different nuts and seeds. You could see the different, obviously, meats tend to be on the lower side unless you're doing a lot of processed stuff. That's where you get into trouble there.
That's why so
So
many people do so well with carnivore-ish diets. That's kind of what I
yeah,
say I'm eating is carnivore-ish because I still do berries, I still do rice, and I feel okay with that. I still do, on occasion, I'll do some organic pecans as kind of a treat, and those are delicious, and those don't appear to
yep,
affect my gut or my skin. So in general, if you're going more animal-based, good quality fats, you're knocking out, as you mentioned, you're knocking out salicylates, you're knocking down lectins, you're knocking down
yep.
oxalates, you're knocking down all these
Yeah, and
things
then
that are
here's
irritating.
my oxalate guide. We may want to look at oxalates as well. This is kind of the members area for my patients here. If you're a patient and you have access to this area, top right-hand corner of my website. And you can see I have a low oxalate handout as well. And again, I don't recommend going crazy out of the gates. I just try to look at what's the 20% of food that you eat the most, and let's try to cut the high stuff out, right? And then sub that with the lower one out of the gates. That can make a big difference, especially if you have a baby who has a lot of eczema issues. If we can really get a good autoimmune diet, kind of get the oxalates and the salicylates down, that could make a big difference. But like Evan said, we have to look at gut microbiome stuff. We have to look at things you may be getting in contact with in regards to detergents, even essential oils in the skin. Some of these things can be stressful on the body. So we really got to calm all of these things down. We got to look at good bacteria, maybe have to address bacterial imbalances. Again, if you're not a baby, you're an adult, we have to look at the hormones because a lot of times if you're chronically stressed hormonally with the adrenals or you have estrogen dominant issues as a woman, that can affect your immune system and that could make you prone to having some immune imbalances and your immune system is kind of hyper responding and overly sensitive. And of course, we definitely have to test the gut because if we have SIBO, bacterial overgrowth, dysbiosis, H. pylori, fungal overgrowth, right? Fungus and candida can actually produce oxalates too. So you can have endogenous oxalate production via candida. These things can stress out your body, thus stressing out your immune system. So really looking at the adrenals, looking at cortisol, looking at the female hormones, estrogen, progesterone dominance, really looking at the gut. Are you able to digest and break things down? Are the anti-nutrients in vegetables a problem? Again, I hate cutting out the anti-nutrients in vegetables if we don't have to because there's a lot of good food there. So cooking these foods down can help, but it'll lower it a notch. It won't take a high food and make it a low food. It may not make a high food maybe like a medium-ish food. So cooking, obviously avoiding a lot of the raw salad, steaming, sauteing can help a little bit and kind of lessen that load for sure.
Yeah, well said. Detox is important, and detox can get screwed up by your gut
Mm-hmm.
infections. We've talked about this before, but there's a pathway called glucuronidation in the body, and this gets impaired due to bacterial overgrowth. So sometimes we're coming in and fixing the gut, but then we're also trying to upregulate these detox pathways. So that could include specific support for the liver. That may include binders. That may
Mm-hmm.
include liver gallbladder combinations. Maybe there's some acid and enzymes that we throw in. When you look at someone's face or just their skin in general, to me, it's really the window into their gut and to their immune system. So if you see somebody with just major issues with their face, generally there's a gut problem. I had a woman, she was young when she first started with me. I think she was around 2021, and we got on FaceTime together. And my God, her face was so terrible. She hardly wanted to be seen on FaceTime, but she said, I think it's important for you to see me to see how bad this is. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate you showing me this. And man, by the time we got through working through some of the tests and the gut protocols. Her skin was flawless. And I even had to ask her, like, do you have makeup on? I just want to clarify and confirm. Do you have makeup? No, I don't. So it's amazing to see what you can do. And timeline wise, I mean, we're talking maybe a few months, but within a couple of years, I would say you could completely reverse many of the skin issues that people are suffering with. And that's actually a really short timeline. I mean, we've seen people that have had skin issues for decades. And as you mentioned, they've been on these topical steroids or other medications for a very long time. And not once has the dermatologist ever said, hey, maybe you need to go animal based with your diet and see how that goes. I've never heard that conversation. If you're a dermatologist out there practicing like that, let us know. Maybe we can chat with you. But in general, that conversation is not happening at all.